That makes you feel a lot better.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, like I'm going to really do that.
I heard that.
Okay, now while Philip is getting ready to go in the tank, I'll explain a little bit more about the system here for you. Now, this is actually the most dangerous part of our show. And the reason for that is that this tank behind me is enclosed on all sides, with the exception of one small opening at the top that Philip will enter the tank through. Well, this is the same hole we feed these sharks through. And if you know anything about sharks, you know they're always looking for their food. Anything that comes through this opening, these sharks could see something to eat and try and take a bite out of it. If Philip was to take his hand and stick it in the tank right now, they could very easily mistake that for a small piece of fish and go after that as well. But once Philip is inside this tank and these sharks see that he is not their natural prey, they'll most likely leave him alone. Now that's the way things are supposed to work, and I got to tell everybody, when you're working with animals like this, things don't always go the way they're supposed to. Actually, it's been quite a few years since we had any problems or incidents in this tank. Until last year. Last year was kind of tough on Philip. He actually had a couple of things happen to him. The first thing he did wrong was start the season out by not wearing his little rubber boots. Now, you'll see him in there with them on now, but he was doing a show last year without them on. He was exiting out of this tank, and one of these sharks actually hit him on the foot. Did it pretty good. He came down the ladder, had blood all over one of his feet. Wasn't too happy about it. I thought it was pretty funny myself. Then we were in Ohio doing a show, and this big shark right here snuck up on Philip from behind. And he didn't see her coming, and she pulled right up to the side of his head and snapped her jaw shut. Now when a nurse shark snaps her jaw shut, it's like a concussion. They have a very powerful jaw. Scared the heck out of him. Fortunately, she didn't bite into anything. And if she had him, that show would have been over right then and there. Now I'm telling everybody this just to reinforce the point that these are wild animals, folks, and we never really know what they're going to do. That being said, let's see what's going to happen tonight. Philip, you ready? Okay, not a good place to be sticking your hand there, Philip. Fortunately, none of those sharks got a really good look at it. Now you can see these sharks are still pretty active here right now, and that's because they actually heard Philip on top of this tank. And whenever they hear somebody up there, they start thinking fluid is coming through that opening. Well, it doesn't make any difference because they're going to all be disappointed here in a moment anyway. Or maybe not. Just have to wait and see. Now, once Philip is inside this tank, you'll see these sharks will most likely swim away from him. And that's the same thing would happen to you if you encountered these